Hello, and welcome to the Thyroid Warrior podcast. I'm Ebony, and I'm here as your wellness facilitator. I'm going to be sharing my experiences in managing Hashimoto's disease. I really hope that it'll help you on your personal journey. Keep in mind, however, this does not substitute for medical advice. It is only for your information and motivational purposes only. Now, let's get started. So hello everyone. Today I have Mel on the podcast and I am super excited. The reason why I'm so excited is because she brings a new perspective and she actually had her thyroid gland removed. So I wanted her to come on the show today to talk to us about that process and how she makes it work for her. So with that, Mel, welcome. I'm so grateful that you decided to come. I'm so excited. So we're going to jump right into it. So can you just talk to us about your journey in terms of how you actually decided to get your thyroid gland removed and what events kind of led to that?
So I was diagnosed in 2011. Post-grad, and my symptoms, what brought me to the point of removing my thyroid was my blood pressure being at stroke level. I was having really, really low days, dealing with, depression and anxiety, and I just had my daughter, so I was going through postpartum depression. It was just a lot going on with my body. My heart rate was always on 10. It was really bad. It just got really bad. My eyes were like protruding and, I was so anxious all the time. And the doctor was like, I think we need to just go ahead and, remove your gland because, you could possibly die. And I was freaked out. Yeah, that's what they told me. I was freaked out. I was like, okay, I don't want to die, so let me go ahead and get this done because I was resisting because I was like, I know there's another way that I can, do this without, removing my thyroid entirely. I knew like the aftermath, having to take, Synthroid for the rest of my life and having to, even after taking my thyroid out, having to balance, track my T levels and me having to adjust to being hypothyroid. Mm-hmm. It was just the whole journey. So I knew the aftermath and I was just afraid for my life at that point. And I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge and I didn't know if it would work or not. And I didn't know if it was too late to try that. So I just jumped the gun and got it done.
Wow.
So yeah. Yes, girl. So
wow.
It was frightening and I wish I knew what I know now. Because earlier in my journey, I would look, on the internet and try to find different ways to, treat my thyroid because I kept hearing and seeing that you can treat it. And I was like, oh, but mine's too bad. My blood pressure is too high. My cholesterol is too high. I'm having heart palpitations and all kinds of things going on. I was like, maybe it's too late for me. And it wasn't. It wasn't too late. And yeah, it happened, unfortunately. So, yeah.
Wow. So what would you say to someone who's been approached by their doctor that says, you know what, we really have to remove your thyroid gland? Are there any words of wisdom that you could provide to them, knowing what you know now?
I would tell them to be sure, absolutely sure that that's the last, resort. I'm not a doctor, but I do know that sometimes I've been through like a couple of endocrinologists because I felt like they were jumping the gun and trying to get medication and not, trying to heal my thyroid, holistically, if that's the word. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to find a doctor that could, but my insurance didn't cover it. But I would tell that person to do their research. Absolutely do their research. And if that's not, the ultimate thing that you have to do at that moment, check your T levels, see how they look for yourself, learn those, levels yourself, and how, what you're eating and what you're drinking, what you're putting in your body, how that contributes to your levels, and how you're taking care of yourself. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping okay? Are you avoiding, gluten? Because I know that contributes to your thyroid functioning, well. And just know your body, take care of your body, monitor your body, and, do your research. It's really ultimately what we're eating that is contributing to our thyroid dysfunction and the way, that we're taking care of our bodies. Your food, my husband always tells me, babe, your food is, information for your body. Like if we're throwing all this, processed food, all this extra stuff, like that's not helping our bodies. And if you have a thyroid dysfunction or you're having hypo or hyperthyroid, you got to take care of yourself at the end of the day, seriously. I learned self-care when I had my thyroid issue, like ASAP.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
My goodness. That's perfect. And it's so funny that you mentioned that, because I didn't understand the role that I was playing in making my condition worse. And I always think back to my very first endocrinologist in Detroit. She was so amazing, and I didn't understand why. And she said, "You're so young, and I would hate to put you on this medication before even trying to change your diet, to change what you're doing, to figure out what your levels are, to figure out what's normal for you, and to really try to get you back together again without the medication."
Right.
And unfortunately, in my case, like I literally did like a super strict diet. I cut out the process because, honestly, when I got as sick as I did, I literally could not eat anything, like nothing. And, we figured out I was vitamin D deficient, vitamin B deficient. My cholesterol was jacked up. My blood pressure was jacked up. It was all bad. And it wasn't until I started making those dietary changes that my care team was like, interesting.
Right.
So what adjustments have you had to make? I know you talked about self-care, for example. So when did you make the connection or have that aha moment like, oh, wait, I should be doing this, this, and this instead of that?
It was after my daughter, when I was going through my postpartum depression, and I was kind of coming out of that and managing that. And I realized, I was like, okay, Mel, you have to start exercising. That's when I started exercising again. And I know I was taking like certain supplements to help with my energy, my adrenaline health. And, then I started drinking coffee, which was a bad step.
But it's so good.
It's so good, right? And as of today, I've been like coffee free. I feel like I'm like at an AA meeting or something, but I've been coffee free for like 2.5 months, and I feel way better. But that's another story. But I had my aha moment after my daughter, and I was so fed up with having such low days and being all over, up and down on the charts and being so tired, so tired, my Lord. And I was like, okay, dude, you got to take care of yourself. I was like, I have to take care of myself so that I can be well enough to take care of my husband and my children. And at that time, I had started my business too. And I was working late nights, drinking coffee so late, and, waking up early in the morning to, take care of the children and just be all out of whack, girl. And I really had to check myself. I had, because it was on me. Like, no one's going to make sure you're good but you. Like, that is my responsibility to make sure that I'm rested, that I'm putting the best foods in my body, that I am exercising. Like, and when I focused in on those things, I like started to feel way better. And then I cut out coffee, but that took a while. that took a long time, but it, like, until recently, like, I was still dealing and trying to figure out my body's rhythm and learning my new body, because your thyroid is the quarterback to all the other organs in your body.
Right?
Like, so I'm learning this new body. And mind you, I turned 30. So I was like, oh, double whammy. You know, I'm learning my new body as a woman and a woman's body without a thyroid. So that was a part of all of that. And I started, you know, really getting into the word. And I was like, God, I can't do this by myself. I can't do this, period. I'm passing this to you because, you know, staying up all night, getting up early in the morning, not eating well. I mean, it's so tempting to eat the bad stuff, but how you feel after is the worst. So I did that, and yeah, I'm all the better for it. Like, seriously, just really taking care of myself has been the best decision as a wife and mother and business owner. Otherwise, I would be a crazy lady. I would be insane. Like, goodness gracious. So thank goodness for realizing that, because now I just really take those moments. I get that rest. And I'm like, you know what, God, please let this work out. But I'm going to bed tonight. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, making those hard decisions and kind of letting it work out, because seriously, it's so essential. Rest is essential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love everything that you just said, and you just touched on 3 things that I really, really just was like, oh girl, yes. Yes. So the first thing was exercise. And I don't want to say misconception about exercise when you have a thyroid condition, but it's a misconception about it, because so many people that I've talked to are like, yeah, my doctor said I shouldn't exercise.
Oh, they told me that too. One of my doctors told me to ease up on exercising. And I did read that going too hard wasn't that great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But doing, like, you know, hit high intensity?
Yep,
high
training. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sorry, I couldn't get that out because I'm really trying to process this, because I just got excited that you said that. But, you know, having these extensive workouts wasn't good because, okay, so I would go hard sometimes and I would have to nap midday.
Yep.
Like, it took a toll on my body, and that's because, you know, my body doesn't function like your average person. So, you know, we need a little bit of a recovery. You know what I'm saying? But I do remember my doctor telling me not to exercise. And maybe they had their reasons, because I was at stroke level. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But after I started working out, and actually shout out to CG, Camp Gladiator, because the community, all of that changed my life, and the people I met, and how they pushed me mentally, and how I can do things that I didn't think I could do. I mean, that was a season in my life I was like, thank God for this moment. And when I started working out, I started to feel so much better. Like, and that was during the time of my depression. And, you know, when you work out, you know, your endorphins are working. So, you know, that helps with your mood. I was taking flaxseed oil every single day. And, you know, just chilling out. But the exercising part was very important in my moment of transition. Like, what? Work out. I mean, unless, you know, it's going to harm you and you know it will or something. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's just essential. Like, when I don't work out now, I am Godzilla.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's so funny because I brought that up to my endocrinologist and she kind of like cocked her head to the side and she was like, Ebony, let's qualify that statement. Right? So if you were a patient that was experiencing severe distress with your heart or your lungs or, having trouble getting oxygen delivered to your brain, which you have had. And remember, when you did have that season in your thyroid journey, you were taken off the track team. Remember that? Yes, I do. Thank you for that reminder, that harsh reminder. But she's like, exercise. Because when I wanted to get pregnant, she looked at my thyroid levels. She was like, you have a decision to make. I see your thyroid levels are elevated for you. Your cholesterol is high. Your blood pressure is high. And even though you're at a quote unquote healthy weight, we need to do something about this. And I'm 5'8", and I think I was maybe 164 pounds at the time. So she's like, you're still good, but how do you feel? And I was like, listen, I'm depressed, I'm tired, I'm lethargic, I can't think, I can't concentrate, I can't focus. So I need to start exercising again. And the world will be a better place and everyone will like me.
Okay. Girl. Like my husband's like, do you need to go work out? I'm like, what? I don't need to work out. But it is so very true. Like after I work out, I take this, like I find myself taking this deep, like huge, biggest sigh of life after, because I'm like, that felt so good.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm awake and I'm ready for life after that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna exercise after this. Just saying.
I should probably do that today.
And then the second thing that I thought was really cool about what you said was being a business owner. And I have heard so many of my friends that have businesses that are like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I'm struggling right now. And I could think of at least 3 people right now who have businesses that also have thyroid conditions and are struggling. What advice would you give to them?
Take care of yourself. Like, back to what I was saying a second ago, you have to be well, alive and well, to do the things that you do and that you love, and to take care of the people that you love. You cannot do that if you're running on fumes. And I had to learn that. I was like, all right, I have a decision to make. Like, I can't do everything because I wanted to do everything. I wanted to write on everything and letter everything and draw everything. But I realized that I was doing too much. Like, if you need to cut something out to give you more time to focus on the things that you love to do, that's not going to stress you out, that's not going to have you up late at night or too early in the morning, or, you have to make that hard decision. And I'm all about, off days.
Yes.
Because I know, like, for me, like, business is picking up, but I'm just like, okay, like, I'm getting rest today, or I'm going to move this to this time, or, you just have to make those decisions for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. If it's this girl boss, like, go hard, hustle, grind, that is, don't drink the Kool-Aid. It's just, that's cute, but I mean, it's horrible on your body. It's horrible with your mental health. It's just horrible for life. Like, what is for you is for you, and the will of God for your life will happen. Chill out. And that's me talking to myself. Like, seriously, I have to remind myself of those things and those points. And we have to take care of ourselves, because there's this narrative that we have to be up all night grinding. And, we have to, these people are doing this, you have to be competitive. And That's just not true. That is not true. Like, yeah, I would tell them not to drink the Kool-Aid.
So happy you said that. And I'm so happy you said that because I literally had a client who was struggling with PCOS and adrenal fatigue, and her thyroid levels were crazy. And I said, listen, I love you, but this hustle hard mentality that you've been fed is not working for you.
Right.
When I had her do a budget, because she's like, I live on Red Bull and coffee. I said, all right. I want you to send me your receipts from the last 3 months of what you spent on Red Bull and coffee alone. Just those two things. Just those two. She literally has spent over $600 in the last 3 months on Red Bull and coffee. $200 a month.
Man.
And that's from the transactions that she could find. That's not even, if I actually documented everything, what would that cost?
Right.
And, you know, I work a full-time job and I have a business and I have a podcast and I'm literally, I have a course and I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Surprise! So it's all these things that I'm doing and people are like, no, you're going to burn yourself out. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I have a plan. I have a routine. And these are all the things that I do to refuel and recharge myself. Like, I learned the hard way. Like, that's why for those of you that have been listening for a long time, there was a gap of time when I wasn't podcasting. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be there or I didn't want to be engaged. And I'm so sorry for that. But I had literally run myself into the ground trying to take care of everything and everyone and do all the things. And my body said no.
Right.
It said no. So not only was I trying to manage my business, but I was busy building my husband's business from the ground up. I would have a 3-hour commute total, work a full 8-hour day, sometimes 10, come home, work a few hours on his business, go to sleep and have to wake up at 4:45 in the morning and do it all over again.
Mm.
And, we saw how long that lasted.
Right. And isn't it funny how our bodies kind of just let us know when it's time to stop though? You know, like, it's been times where I'm like, oh, I have to get this work done. And I just like literally pass out, like fall asleep or I just get super anxious or I'm like, my body is just straight, going haywire. And, but it's funny how it just kind of, lights out.
Yep. No problem. Just
right.
Goodbye, tink.
Right. So I totally agree.
And and the third thing was you mentioned about your new body.
Mm.
And I just thought that was amazing because so often we're like, all right, there is something wrong. There is something that I now have to deal with on top of all the other things that I have going on. Man, this really sucks.
Right.
But in reality, I found that my thyroid disease has been my biggest blessing because I wouldn't have started eating healthy. I wouldn't have started prioritizing things in my life. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't start taking better care of myself, even from a self-care perspective. So, yes, there have been times where I'm like, woe is me. Why is this happening? I hate my life. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. But now it's just like I have this responsibility almost. And right. I feel selfish if I don't share that. So I've been given this new opportunity, this new gift, this new body to carry out that mission that I've been given and to use the gifts that I've been given.
Right.
So I just thought that was so powerful and just so wonderful. And I'm so grateful that you brought that up because I was like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was real good.
I think it allowed me to process that journey or process that season that I was in, because I did look at, removing my thyroid as this huge, mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I didn't do that? I mean, because I was trying to do it and I wasn't getting the results that I needed at the moment. And it was in that moment I said, okay, so this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. We're going to, kind of take this in stride and, take the necessary steps to make sure that my body is well. This new body, learning how it functions and learning, when it feels this way, okay, at this time, after I ate this, I felt like this. Or if I drank this, I felt like this, and really learning, getting to know my body. It's kind of like dating.
It is. I was just thinking that. I was like, ooh.
It's kind of like dating it. We're in the courting stage, right? But it's been a journey, but it's been more so of a growth journey too, mentally. Because the things that I'm doing now, I didn't think that I could do. The decisions that I'm making, I didn't know I could make those decisions. Having discipline, there's freedom in discipline. Mm-hmm. So much freedom in discipline. And, really just paying attention to the way my body functions, listening to my body. That's the way I needed to process it. Let's get to know this new body. Let's not, get stuck on, now I'm hypo. I was hyper, now I'm hypo. No, scratch that. Okay, this is what it is now. Mm-hmm. And you need to start making decisions, hard decisions. You have to take your thyroid medicine every day, and that's just what you're going to have to do. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And
yep.
It was a decision I wish I could have changed, but I didn't. It didn't happen that way. But it still allowed me to take care of my body still today, now. And I'm standing firm with these doctors, and I'm I'm feeling like this. And, when am I supposed to eat? You're not telling me when I'm supposed to eat. I'm communicating with them, and, I'm very particular about who I'm talking to now. I'm I need somebody that's going to come in my life and just, I know we can't be besties, but just kind of care about me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And listen to me, hear me out, and, let me tell you how I'm feeling. I mean, I think that's important. And I'm standing up for my body. I feel like I'm standing up for her because this is the only body I'm going to get for the rest of my life. Exactly. Yeah. So stand up for your body.
Well, you guys, that wraps up part 1 of my interview with Mel. Next week, we are going to continue to dive into more concepts about self-care and loving our bodies and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. But Melarie just came out with her Women in Bloom collection, and you need to go to mauvepaperco.com and check out her collection because it is phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about her website and her collection. So remember, her website is Mauve Paper, PAPERCO.com. And you can also find her at that same handle on social media. So definitely go check her out, and we will continue this next week. Take care. Okay, Thyroid Warriors, get out there and take things one step at a time. Remember, be great, reflect on your triumphs, and as always, be well. Take care.